Hello, everybody out there. Welcome to Horror and Coffee in this wonderful October. Tony Movie Chap, I see you in the chat. I'm doing well. Thank you, brother. Here I am having my coffee. This is Colombian grounded beans coffee I picked up at Trader Joe's earlier today when I went shopping with my wife, and we picked up some. Then I decided, you know what? Let me ground some of this stuff. Let me grind it down and put it all in here. And here I am having some coffee, ready to talk horror, and not just any horror. Specifically, Halloween Kills came out last week. I did a non-spoiler review last week, and I posted that. But, but it's time to get all spoiler right now. Okay, and that's why I'm here, and hopefully that's why you're here because you really want to talk about this now. I'm going to presume that you're here. Those of you who watch this either later on in the replay or if you pop into the chat now, I'm going to make a presumption. The presumption is that you either saw the movie, so you know everything that goes down. We can really have a conversation about this, or because this is all spoilers now, or you haven't seen it, but you don't care and you want to just I don't care. I don't care what I find out here. I want to hang out and talk. More than welcome to do that. I got here my silver shamrock Halloween 3 pumpkin mask wearing a hat. I hope you like the hat. I know I do. That's why I bought it. So, um it's good that I'm here because can you hear me, Tony? I need you as a since you're the one you're here. I want to know if you can hear me loud and clear. All right? If you could just post that on the chat. Feel free to share in the chat, guys. Uh let's see here. I'm just checking to make sure everything is systems go. Yeah, everything is systems go. Awesome sauce. All right. So, on that note, Halloween Kills. Hmm. The second, thank you, Tony. I got it. I'm glad you can hear me. That means everybody else can too. Halloween Kills, the second installment of the trilogy. Okay. Oh, Tony, hold on. I'm gonna post this up. I'm gonna show everybody. Tony says I can say I only seen the first hour of Halloween Kills before I got tired, but I like it and I thought it was cool. They brought back some of the old characters that were the kids in the original. I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna actually talk about that actually because I like the idea that they did that. Now, because of the extensive desire to share with you this movie in its detail, I made a list. Got to make a list, right? The first thing, the first thing is that I want to talk about the opening scene. The opening scene. Hey, Triborough, how you doing? Glad. Thank you for joining me, man. I hope you saw the movie because we're going all full spoiler, and I'm starting right now. So, here we go. The movie starts, believe it or not, in 1978. All right. Remember how at the end of the night, forget about all the other movies. Remember the original John Carpenter, 1978. Troy Burrow said he saw it Sunday. Awesome. Okay. In the original 1978, the way it ends, Dr. Loomis shoots Michael Myers, right? And he falls off the balcony onto the ground outside the house. Shares a couple of words with Laurie. He goes and looks over the balcony and sees, and the body's gone, right? And that's how the movie ends. Okay. What we watch in the very beginning of Halloween Kills is kind of where he goes after that. You know how, like in Halloween 2 in 1981, you kind of see that he's walking around the neighborhood, going into stuff and all that. That's kind of what happens. That's kind of what happens in this film, in the beginning of the movie. He's walking around and he comes across Lonnie. Remember Lonnie? Hey, Lonnie, get your ass away from there. Remember that? The kids that trying to sneak into the Myers house and Dr. Loomis was playing around. Um, What I liked about seeing that is that they really did a good job in recreating visually 1978 Halloween. They really did. I enjoyed it. Um, Triborough says, I love the flashback scene. A lot of people felt like it was not needed. Well, maybe I don't know. Like it is split, to be honest with you, right? It is split about how some people, there's too much flashback, too much flashback. But you know what? I love flashbacks. I love the nostalgia of the time. We saw Michael Myers in the way he looked in the original film. Like it was to the T. It was perfect. I was like, man, mask and all, right? And what I liked about it was that it kind of explained how they caught him. Because the idea is Halloween 2 never happened. That it's Halloween 2018 was a direct sequel to the original 1978 film. So I was like, well, then how do they catch him? Well, they kind of showed how they did that. He went back to his house, the Myers house, and attacked the two cops there. And I'm trying to remember the name of the officer that plays a big role in this. His partner got killed by the shape inside the house. Um, and and they showed how many of you bugged out when you saw Dr. Loomis? I was like, oh my God, he's back. Dr. Loomis is back. Yes, I know what they did. I know exactly what they did. They got a guy dress up just like him, and then they did the whole face thing, kind of like what they did with Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One, in Star Wars Rogue One. It's that whole CGI thing, right? But it worked. It worked, and I really enjoyed that so much. You have to understand something. When I'm 52, okay, and when you go back far to that time when the movie was still fresh in people's minds, and how it kind of like just grabbed the audience in general. I have to admit, seeing something like that was like a breath of fresh air. It was like putting on an old pair of shoes. You know, not only does it show you how they was able to catch Michael, because as soon as he came out, he just got surrounded by cops, and he didn't make a move. He didn't do a thing. He just let them take him. He just became this, stoic guy again that nobody, Dr. Loomis was ready to shoot him right in the head. He pulled his gun out and pointed it right at his head to blow his head off. And they stopped him from doing it, you know. Hmm. I know, protect and serve. But it was a very interesting way to start the film. All right, so I don't want to harp on it too long, but you know, they mentioned something. One of the cops mentioned in that scene that Michael, when he was a little kid, he remembered him as a boy before the events of 1963 when he killed his sister Judith. That they um they said he used to stare out the window a lot. He was always staring out the window, right? And that made me think, well, then, yeah, something was already going on before the events of that night. Something was happening to him. Okay. Now, there was a novelization, like I've mentioned this in other things. There was a book written about the movie that kind of explains some kind of spiritual thing based on a spirit from thousands of years ago that got sacrificed or killed or whatever in the Celtic lands during the Feast of Samhain. Um, yeah. Oh yeah, Triborough. Yeah, let me post this. Somehow the cop that got his neck slashed lived to tell about it. If you're talking about the one that survived, his friend didn't make it. The other one did. Yeah, but I guess he didn't hit the jugular. He didn't reach the jugular there. That's what I'm thinking. Uh, you know, but here you go. Check this one out. Tony Movie Chap says, but that was the one scene I didn't understand. Why do you think Michael Myers would have turned himself into the cops? I don't know. I think maybe the way I kind of like rounded it out in my head is that he kind of like pretty much made up and like I think just the way you can switch evil on, you could switch it off. I think that's what happened. I think that he did what he did. He did what he could do as much as he could do it. But by that point, Halloween was pretty much over. And what was he going to do? Keep doing this through Christmas, through the holidays, disrupt shopping? No. So I think there was a kind of a shutdown at that point where he just went back to being like this comatose kind of dude that just stared at everything and not said a word. That's kind of the sense I got from that. So, that's what I think, Tony. Um yeah. Now, another thing I enjoyed as flashbacks, and this happened later on in the film, and I don't know if you guys noticed, they showed um some quick scenes from Halloween 1, and even though it didn't exist in this timeline, they still used it. Halloween 2, I don't know if you noticed that. Halloween 2 1981, they showed a quick clip of Sheriff Beckett seeing his daughter dead on the when they brought her out, and they brought Annie out, and he took off the cover and found her there with her neck slashed, right? And he, remember that whole scene in Halloween 2 when he was like, I think I'm gonna go home and tell my wife before somebody else does that. Remember that scene? That was from Halloween 2 in 1981, and they used that one shot to show that, because in retrospect, if you think about it, if you follow the course of events of that night, of course that would have happened anyway, right? The cops would have came, they would have had to take out the bodies and all that kind of stuff, just like we saw in Halloween 2. So they just used that same footage for this movie, which I thought was good. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Tony. He says that makes sense. I guess about what I said earlier. It's the only thing that makes sense in my brain. It's Tony. I don't know. It's the only thing that kind of like turns in my brain about that. It's one of the weirdest things. Okay, I'm gonna stop real quick because what I'm gonna do right now is I decided as we keep talking about this, I'm gonna give you guys four, starting with the first one now, and then at certain points during this broadcast, I'm gonna share more. I'm gonna share some Halloween fun facts. What does that mean, Ralph? Okay, well, let me show you. Halloween fun facts. Okay, so okay, all right, everybody, all right, boys and girls, gather around and be educated. Okay, here we go about Halloween fun facts. So, for those of you who don't know this, the term Halloween actually comes from a Catholic feast day called All Hallows Evening. I know they always associate Halloween with darkness and the devil and the demons and all that, and there are certain understandings about that I'll explain later. But initially, um, November 1st, the day right after Halloween, is the Feast of All Saints, which is the Feast of the Holy Ones, the All Hallowed Ones, the Holy Ones. That's where the word hallow is derived from, the word holy. And when that date was originally in May, like May 11th or something like that. I'm not sure exactly when in May. And then I think in the 6th century, the Pope at that time, which I think was Pope Gregory the something, uh, changed it to November 1st. And it became I might be off a little bit on the dating, but All Hallow, it used to be in May. And then at some point in the early years of the church, they moved it to November 1st to commemorate. It's a feast day. November 1st is a Catholic feast day where they commemorate all of the people that are declared saints by the church. Saint Francis, Saint this, Saint that, Saint everybody. And even those that the church doesn't even that don't know of, because not here's the trick: not everybody that's a saint in heaven, according to the Catholic faith, we know about. We don't know everybody, like that whole thing. So they decided to make a feast day for people who have died and have gone on to heaven, who lived an exemplary holy life. And it's called All Saints Day. But in Catholic calendar terminology, the day always begins in the evening. um of the that's before the following day. So that's why it was called the Eve of All Saints, All Hallows Evening, and then it later got translated into the secularization of the holiday that we now know as Halloween. All right. So there's your Halloween fun fact. Let me know what you think about that. All right. In the meantime, let's get back to my ugly mug. All right. So let's keep talking about the movie. Um, Here we go. I want to talk about Sheriff Beckett. That's great that they got the guy that played him to be. Actually, I met him and I have his signature somewhere. I met him in one of the horror conventions, and it was great meeting him. He was in the movie. He they brought him back to play that same character, but in this movie, he's not a sheriff anymore. He's not even a cop. He's a security officer working somewhere. Apparently, the events of 40 years ago traumatized him so much that he kind of just like, I can't do this cop crap anymore. So he kind of like broke it down and became just a security guy. And you see him there, and he's you know, he recognized Lori when they brought her into the hospital. I don't know if you noticed that. And he was very, he didn't have a big part in the film, but he was very, um, you know, and he was involved because that was his daughter that was killed. Tony Movie Chap says, "Are you a fan of Lee from Drum Dums? I've seen you a couple of times on his live stream. He's a great YouTuber." Yes, I love Lee. Lee is awesome. Okay, he is a guru regarding Michael Myers. Like I can't even what I'm talking about here is like, oh, like he can. I wish he was here. If he was here, I'd put him in the stream right now, man. I really would. For real. Like it's just it would be awesome to see him. But yeah, so he's a great guy. Yes, I do go on occasionally, when I can get a chance. I'm so busy to catch his stuff. He has great content. I would that Drum Dums. If for those of you who don't know who that is, who I'm talking about, go to Drum Dums. That's the name of his channel, and check out his horror content. He's got a lot of good stuff to share. All right. So Sheriff Beckett, yeah, that's one thing. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the mob mentality. The mob mentality. That is crazy. Did you see that? Like when Tommy, grown up Tommy, played by Anthony Michael Hall. Anthony Michael Hall was the kid from the Breakfast Club, the little nerdy kid. I'm like, holy God, look at you now. And he's like, evil dies tonight. We're not gonna take this anymore. Oh, he was flipping out. And and he was riling up the crowd, right? The community of Haddonfield was like, "Yeah, let's get him," and they started picking up sticks and stuff. It became a mob. It reminded me, funny enough, of Frankenstein. You know how like they had the torches and all, and they went to the castle to kill Frankenstein and everything. It reminded me of that. It was similar to that kind of thing. Mm. So yeah, it the mob mentality also led to the unfortunate death of another not Haddonfield, a Smith's Grove patient. If you remember from 2018, Michael Myers wasn't the only one on that bus that crashed that he got out of. There were several other patients there. One of them happened to make it to the hospital area or Haddonfield itself. We first see him in the car. When the couple, the nurse and the doctor, couple dressed as a nurse and a doctor, they come to the car and they think it's Michael Myers, but it's not. And the guy's frightened, right? And you see in the movie, Robert Makes the Cut is in the house. Hi, Robert. We're talking about Halloween Kills. I hope you saw it because it's full on spoiler. Um, he was, this poor patient, this other Smith Grove Sanitarium patient, didn't know what to do with himself. He was trying to find help, and he didn't know how to communicate that. It's almost like he couldn't talk either. Like you never heard a peep out of him. Um, Laurie's daughter, went to try to help him. Even she was trying to tell the crowd, "It's not him. It's not him," right? Because they found out that the sheriff, the new sheriff, the guy with the cowboy hat, and he was like, "There's a new sheriff in town." Remember him? He was like, "Michael Myers is alive." He said it like that, like it was sexy. I don't know why he felt like he had to say that during like it was sexy. I'm like, what do you want to do? Make love by the fire? Michael Myers is alive. I don't know. It was weird, and that delivery, I don't know. It fell kind of flat for me, in my opinion. But anyway, the crowd thought that was Michael Myers. They started chasing him up the stairs in the hospital, and Laurie's daughter and Laurie herself, who finally after a while got wind that Michael Myers was still alive. She wanted to go out there too, and they were like, "No, you got to, you just got operated on." They operated on her to fix her stab wound. Okay, so she had to hold back. I'll talk about that in a little bit too. They ended up killing well, they didn't really literally kill him. They couldn't get to him, but the guy felt like he had no choice but to jump out of a window, and he died. He got his brain splattered on the pavement. Everybody's like, "Oops." Oh man, I was like, that moment, that time made me go, "That's not good. That's not a good." It's almost as if, in a way, Michael Myers kind of like got away with more murder, and he didn't even have to be there for it. Because the whole point of Michael Myers is evil, right? Another element, though, to be acknowledged, and I mentioned this in the non-spoiler review, is fear. And fear is what drove that crowd to go buck wild. Fear is what drove them to chase that poor guy, that poor patient, up those stairs. And it was actually fear that probably drove that guy to himself to just go fall to his death into the parking lot below in the hospital. And I thought that was sad. I thought that was very tragic, and I didn't know what to make of it. But I liked how they was able to kind of like weave that into the narrative of the film, because it kind of gave a very human element to the story. Okay, a very human element, which bugged me out in many ways. I have to say. Um, yeah, you understand what I'm saying, guys? Like it's a hard it's a hard pill to swallow when you're being faced with such a threat of evil, to the point that you rationale and thinking go out the window, and total panic sets in, because when you panic, people get hurt. When you panic, people get killed even. And in this case, that's what happened with this poor dude. Um, and I think that's a big reflection of our world today. If you don't mind me getting on the soapbox a little bit, uh, that's what happens. I mean, look, I'm not trying to make a comparison to real life events, but the last couple of years, we've been seeing similar things: riots, people hurting others, because a great injustice was done. People were killed, so people reacted in kind to the killing by killing more people, or at least injuring them. You know what I'm saying? Even to the like when January 6th happened, a lot of people were still blaming, "Oh, Trump did it," and whatever. Fine, whatever your political views are about that, you have to admit that it was fear that drove that whole thing from happening. And fear is never a good thing. It never solves anything, right? Mm. So fear was, you know, is the main weapon that Michael Myers uses. Okay, for that. So remember that the next time you see something going on in the news, where people are rioting, where people are protesting to the point that the protest stops being peaceful and it becomes violent, think about this scene from Halloween Kills, and how, in some crazy ways, that scene and that whole element in Halloween Kills kind of reflects real life in various aspects. There's a mob mentality there. It's scary. Um, All right, here's something else that happened in this film that I did not see coming. That it wasn't really. It really wasn't in the first in Halloween 2018. It wasn't there. It was not there, and this is what I'm talking about. The confirmation that Michael Myers just isn't human. Okay, remember in the beginning of Halloween 2 in 1981 when when Dr. Loomis when he was running around saying, "I shot him 6 times. I shot him 6 times," and he told Sheriff Beckett, "He's not human. He's not human." He said that because he shot him straight 6 times and he didn't. He just got up and walked away, right? And we saw what happened in the beginning of the movie there because they showed the flashback. But what this movie showed Michael getting shot a lot, getting kicked, beaten the crap out of towards the end of the film, if you remember that part. And he still got up. I mean, he survived the fire, right? That kind of thing. The mask got a little melted down a bit, which I think was pretty good. It wasn't that extreme, so it still retains the Michael Myers look. It bugged me out. I was like, wow, okay, so they are holding to that whole thing that evil doesn't die, that whole thing, that evil, uh, he's not human, that is becoming quite apparent now in this film, right? That there's some kind of driving force in him, right? Triborough says it right here. Look, he wasn't human in this either. He went straight John Wick on the neighbor. It's true. It's true. Yeah, John Wick be surviving everything. I don't get that either. Um, it's true. Like the shape, you can't keep him down. You can put him down, but he doesn't stay down, right? I thought it was the end, but he got up again and he started killing everybody. Personally, I think that Tommy's still alive. I don't know. I'm planning on seeing it again this weekend after I see Dune because I'm gonna go see Dune. Dang right. Um, you know, and my sense was that he wasn't gonna, go down so easily. Apparently, I always kind of knew that, but then when I saw him get up again, I was like, oh my god, So it's crazy. So yeah, um, he's not human. He's evil, and in this movie, you really want him to die because we see Michael Myers in such a dark, like he's always dark, but he's dark in this film. Like his kills. Can we talk about the kills for a minute? Can we? The kills are absolutely crazy. They are amazing. Remember when he broke into that house with the couple, the lady and the husband, that they were just chilling out in the house, and he comes in and he kills her with the light fixture. He breaks it and just goes right into her neck. And as she's laying there, fading away, she sees him impaling her husband on the kitchen counter with all these knives. Bah! He gets another one. Bah! Another one. Bah! I was like, oh my god, dude, he's already dead. But you're. It's like he was working on an art project or something at that point. He got curious. That whole head tilting sick thing that he does when he kills somebody. I swear that's what it was. It's like he took all these knives and planted them into the guy, and he was already dead. And oh god, you know what I liked about that though? You didn't see it full on. You kind of almost saw it from the viewpoint of his wife, who was dying herself on the side as she watched it. And it was kind of blur. I don't know if you noticed. It was like the cinematography for this film was great, by the way. It was kind of blurry. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, Triborough, it was an awesome kill. It was. But it was kind of blurry. You really didn't see it. It was like in a backdrop almost, like just a blurred vision of Michael. You knew what he was doing. You knew it was him, and he was doing this, right? And then he finally takes one knife and says, I'll walk out with this one, and he leaves. He just leaves, because he knows. Wow. I'll be honest with you. That kind of brutality reminded me of Rob Zombie's Michael Myers from his remake, because he was brutal. You can say whatever you want about the Rob Zombie remakes. I liked his rendition of the original film. I didn't like his rendition of Halloween 2. That was god awful. But you could say whatever you want about both. When those kills were brutal too, and you know it. And that's what we saw here. It was that kind of brutality. It was that kind of strength. It was that kind of unnatural sickness that we all fear, right? That we don't want to be anywhere near in real life. Thank God it's on a screen. Thank God it's on the screen. It could stay on the screen. You don't want to have that happen in real life. I like, people keep on saying, how come they didn't call the FBI? How come they didn't get the National Guard? And in a real life situation, they would have probably. But we have to remember this. This is a horror movie. And most horror movie, in order to keep a horror film impacted and impacting, let me just say it like that, impacting and keep you on the edge of your seat, is you have to remember it has to be isolated. This is a small town in Illinois. Leave it in a small town in Illinois. Don't bring in the National Guard. Don't bring the Army. Don't bring the Army. Don't bring the Navy. Nope. Don't do it. Leave all of them out of this. Let the cops handle it. And like I said earlier, the mob wasn't having it. Like the sheriff was like, no, you got to let us work on this. And the whole crowd wasn't having it. No, we've been dealing with this for 40 years. I don't know what they've been dealing with for 40 years, because this is his first time showing up after 40 years. I think what happened was the events of 1978 really left a stigma, a mark of Cain, if you will, on the soul of that community. And they were never able to get over the events of the night, because it's a small community. Usually communities like that don't go through something that horrific. Well, at least back then they didn't. Now you got a lot of horrible things happening in small suburban towns, school shootings, things like that. So, horrible, horrible incidences that nobody wants to ever see happen again. It's one of those things. You really want to hate Michael Myers. Here's another scene when he killed Laurie's granddaughter. The reason why I'm saying it like that, because I never get the names in right. If you guys remember the names of the characters, please post them right there on the chat so I can remember. Laurie's granddaughter's boyfriend. What he did to him. Holy moly. That was just cruel. Cruel. Like, not only did he kill him, he did it slowly. Like, he had him at the stairs, and as he's walking down, he stops and goes, oh, wait, hey. And meanwhile, his girlfriend, this girl's in the bottom, crying and everything, screaming. And he goes, oh, hold up, I got this for you. Ready? Crack! Breaks his neck. Instant death. I was like, that was bad. That was really bad. The way he killed Marion Chambers, the original nurse from the original film. They got the actress back to play that role. And, it's like, oh, I should have killed you in that car all those years ago. Well, guess what? You're dead now. Kills her. There were like, how many people in that car? There was Marion, there was Tommy, there was Lindsay, the girl that Laurie used to babysit. Actually, Annie was babysitting Lindsay, and then she took her over to Laurie's house because she wanted to screw around with some guy, and then we all know what happened to her. It was Nurse Chambers, Tommy, Lindsay, and the couple. I forgot their names. The doctor that was dressed as the doctor and the nurse. All right. Now, here's the thing. Michael Myers ended up taking out all of them. How many of you laughed when the girl with the gun that was dressed as the doctor was like, bah, 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 bah. And all Michael had to do was swing the door open and she went, bah. Oh, man. I'm sorry, but I belted out laughing in the theater on that one. I mean, that was Cameron, granddaughter's boyfriend was Cameron. His name was Cameron. Okay. Thank you, Trevor. Terrible names. But how many of you laughed at that part? You come on. Deep down inside, you had to at least giggle. Just giggle because that was stupid. Like she was like, bah, bah, bah. I was like, what? Oh, jeez. Oh, God. You're so okay. It was so sad. But you know what was crazy also? How when he went after this is the only scene you see in the whole movie where you see the Michael Myers going after somebody and they're running and they're trying to hide and he's looking for them. And it's kind of what we typically see in a slasher film. The car scene was hilarious. Right. It was hilarious. Tribro, you're right. It was hilarious. Um the scene when he's chasing Lindsay and Lindsay is hiding. That was a great scene. I really liked that. I was holding my breath on that because was he gonna find her? Was he not? You know what I mean? Like, and he didn't run. He walked. All he had to do was walk. That's all he does. And it doesn't matter how far you run. He'll walk after you and he'll catch up with you. I don't know how he does it. Um. So Lindsay was hiding. She got wounded. They found her. Tommy found her, and I think her boyfriend when he was Cameron when he was still alive. They found her, and they went back to the car and they found the couple, the doctor nurse couple, and Marion Chambers, all three of them dead. But Michael Myers seemed to have made time to decorate them like it was Halloween decorations, and they put their bodies. He put their bodies in different parts, and he had these masks on him. The silver shamrock mask from Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Tell me that wasn't a callback. You saw the scene where Michael was actually holding the skull one in his hand because he killed the kid who was wearing it, apparently. Because we saw him earlier in the movie screwing around with that gay couple in that house. The gay couple that lives in the Myers house now. That Myers house that got redecorated from the inside. It looks all nice and everything. The gay couple. What can I say about that gay couple? It's funny. You could tell they loved each other to death, but when they realized that there was somebody in the house, they should have just gotten the hell out of the house. I don't know what they were thinking that they can like fight off whoever it was that was in the house. I know they didn't think it was Michael Myers because they had no idea. They were they were so entrenched in their home that night, hanging out, watching movies, whatever, that they didn't realize that the person that got into the house was Michael Myers, the very one who used to live there as a kid. Michael Myers came and he was like, "Hey, who are these people living in my house?" And it was so tragic how we saw them die. Like, I really think that at least one of them should have ran out the house and to find help or something. Like he could have become like a part of the group that was like, "Hey, evil must die tonight." That whole thing. No, they both died. I was like, ugh. Oh, I felt bad for them. Sucks. Triborough says, I thought for sure Lindsay was going to die. I feel like Michael knew she was behind the tree and let her go anyway. I don't think so. I really think he didn't know where to look. I think he just, okay, let me go back and decorate, which he did. Like I said, the masks. They took Lindsay to the hospital, and then we didn't see her again for the rest of the film. So she's going to be in the next film, Halloween Ends. I like to think so, at least. And we're going to talk about that film in a little while, too, because there's a lot of expectations with that one. Tribro says the same. Why would you leave the back door unlocked? That's true. I noticed that immediately when the guy went to the back to look around or whatever. The gay couple we're talking about back in the Myers house. He turned around, went back, closed the door, and he left the door unlocked. I saw that detail and I said, you had to leave the door unlocked, pendejo. And there it was. And now they're dead. I felt like Scarface. Look at you now, huh? Okay. Like it was just bad. It was terrible. Mm, my coffee is getting cold. So yeah, there's that. Let's see what else. I have so many notes about all of this. Laurie's role in the film. Laurie's role in the film. Let's talk about Laurie Strode. As you know, she's not Michael Myers' sister in this scenario. It's a direct sequel to this film is a direct sequel to 2018, which in turn is a direct sequel to 1978. There was no Halloween 2. There was no Halloween 4, 5, 6. None of that. Didn't exist. No Halloween H2O, The Resurrection, no Busta Rhymes. Nothing like that. She was just Laurie Strode. Okay. The original title of this movie was going to be called The Babysitter Murders. That's what John Carpenter had coined it initially with Deborah Hill, who co-wrote the story with him. And the idea is that now we have Laurie in the hospital. We see her going through an operation, a procedure, because she had a serious stab wound. And at first, her daughter tells her, "Oh yeah, we got him, we got him," but she already knew at that point that he survived the fire because the sheriff dude with the cowboy hat, told her, Michael Myers is still alive, baby. I don't know. I was like, you got that good voice, man. Love that sexy voice. And she wanted to leave the hospital, and they had to like literally stop her from doing that. Well, she stayed. And a lot of people complained about that. We didn't see Laurie do anything. Well, because she did a lot in 2018. And what I liked about that, and I don't know if this was the intention of the director, the writers, and all that of the film. I liked that she did that. She kind of was in the backdrop. She was there, but she kind of like laid back and let the other characters in this film shine for a bit, because when Jamie Lee Curtis is in a Halloween movie, all eyes are on her. It's like, what's she gonna do, right? But we didn't get that in this movie. We didn't get what Laurie was gonna do. Even when it looked like she was gonna do something, that's when our antennas went up. But then she ended up just staying where she was in the hospital. Everybody else, we got into Tommy's character, Lindsay's character, and Laurie's daughter and granddaughter. Those two were definitely the big they had larger roles in this film. And what is sad is that we saw Laurie's daughter. Oh God, I wish I knew her name. I keep forgetting. You know, uh, we saw her struggling, first of all, with the loss of her husband, who was killed by Michael Myers in the 2018 film. Now, remember, this whole thing is still happening in 2018. In that, it's not 2021; it's 2018. Okay, so they're still we're already in the thick of the film. Okay, a lot of people are like, well, it didn't have much of a slow burn to it because it didn't need it. The slow burn happened in the 2018 movie. There was a bit of a slow burn there to get things established in the film. But, that's how I thought that I liked how they just kept Laurie in the back and just let the other characters flesh out a little bit more in the movie. I thought that was more important. That was important for the time. Troy Burrows says the injured man being chased by the crowd at the hospital was a complete waste of time. The injured man, I don't know how injured he was. I know he was a patient from the same hospital that Michael Myers was in. He was a Smiths Grove Sanitarium mental patient. He was in Michael Myers, like I said earlier, wasn't in the same. Michael Myers wasn't the only guy in that bus. Remember, it was a bus that tipped over and crashed and all that. He was a few patients came out of that bus. This guy was one of them, and he was, he wasn't all there, sadly. So I think the waste of time. I don't know about that. I kind of disagree with that, Trevor, because if you let me, um, I like the idea. What I was talking about earlier. The mob mentality needed a target to execute their chaos on, and this guy was the ideal guy, right? Because he matched all the same kind of similar aspects of Michael Myers, except he wasn't a crazed killer. He was just mental, you know, and he was scared himself. So it was sad. Like I said earlier, it was a sad thing, but it also speaks of what happens when you let fear take the best of you. You have nothing to fear but fear itself. And that's what happened. That's what happened in that instance. Uh, let's see. So yeah, Laurie's role in the movie was a kind of a stayed as a backdrop, kind of like the soundtrack. The soundtrack was the same way. The soundtrack was kind of, it wasn't in your face like in 2018. It was kind of like it kind of stayed in the backdrop, which I enjoyed personally. I thought it was a great way to show the score for this film. The music was amazing. Once again, the music was by John Carpenter and his son Cody Carpenter, and they made it work, man. They made it work. Uh, thank you, Trevor. I'm just trying to come up because as I watch these films, as I tend to watch with most films, I tend to look at them like through a lens of okay, I try my best to make sense of it so that I can enjoy it. You know, that's just how I work. I can't like I'm like, why did that happen? Why did that have to happen? Like I'll give you a couple of things that I felt like didn't really have to happen. Um, for instance, some of the lines in this movie were kind of stupid. I'll give you an example. Uh, Security guard Beckett, not Sheriff Beckett, at the end of the movie when they all ganged up on Michael Myers and beat the living crap out of him, you hear him say the same thing he told Laurie in Halloween in the first Halloween movie. You know, everyone is entitled to one scare. That's the exact same. Now, and I get why they had him say that because it was a callback from that original film because that's what he told Laurie when he startled her by accident by the bushes there, if you remember that scene. But I felt like that fell flat. Like I wish he didn't say that. It just kind of like I think you guys try to pull it too hard there a little bit. It wasn't funny. It was a very serious situation at that moment, and I was like, no. What was messed up was Michael Myers killed him. They beat him down, and then as soon as he gets up, he starts beating the crowd. He starts killing everybody within arm's length. And Sheriff Beckett was one of them. Oh God, I would no, not Sheriff Beckett. My goodness, So that was hard. That was hard to take. Um, that was one thing. What else did I not like about this movie? To be honest with you, I'm starting to have a hard time with it. I really loved this film. Aside from that, like I really did. I mean, yeah, there was some corny jokes here and there, or whatever. It made people laugh here and there. It does that. Most horror films will do that. To give you a sense of a little bit of comic relief from the seriousness of it, right? Like remember Halloween 5, those two cops. I was like, what the hell was that? What was that? That was stupid. Why did they do that? That was unnecessary. Um, the scene with Michael getting up from the beatdown was so unbelievable. Well, if you think about it, that goes back to what I was saying earlier about how they reintroduced the concept of Michael being this unstoppable force. Like you can beat him up, you can shoot him, you can stab him, and he'll get back up. Remember when right after he killed Cameron, the granddaughter, Laurie's granddaughter, was able to wait. It wasn't. No, it wasn't his granddaughter. It was the daughter that she stabbed him with a pitchfork. Remember that? Stuck that joint right in his back. He was like, ah, and he fell. He got back up. But she took his mask. So she saw his face. He was like, you want it? You get it. Come get it. Whatever. And then he goes after her. But it was obviously she was part of the group, the town mob that wanted to like corner him. So she drops the mask in the middle of the street, and as soon as he goes to pick it up, that's when you see all the lights turn on from all the cars and everybody comes out. Tommy leading the charge with his baseball bat. And I was like, oh man, now it's done. This ain't no cop thing. It's not a Dr. Loomis thing. This is a whole community kicking your ass thing. And that's exactly what happened. He got the beat down. He got a serious beat down. But he got back up again. You know why? Because Dr. Loomis is right. He's not human. He shot him 6 times. He got up and walked away. Who the hell does that? Who gets up and walks away from 6 shotgun rounds? Huh? Nobody. So it definitely, so yeah, it's unbelievable. But in retrospect, the whole movie's unbelievable anyway, because it's a horror film and it's an iconic serial killer who just keeps coming back. So you're gonna get that. Let's do another Halloween fun fact. Okay? If you give me a minute, I will set it up for you. Hold on. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oops, it didn't happen. Hold on. It's pretty. Hold on. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Halloween fun fact number 2. Ready? Ready, guys? Ready? Halloween is more of a secular holiday today, except for people who practice Wicca. Now, Wicca is an ancient pagan religion that has actually, over the last few decades, has had an uptick in practice again amongst regular people, normal people like you and I. They just have this belief system that believes in the elements of nature. Wicca is, they say that you could call it witchcraft, but Wicca is more like from the original kind of like intent of these people that practiced things that had to do with the elements: earth, air, fire, water, things like that. And thousands of years ago, there was such a serious high regard and worship of what was tangible, what can be seen in nature. Okay, the night, the the fire, the this, the that, and different kinds of religions and faiths and practices all over the world were formed from this, from simple observation of nature. Wicca is one of those many practices. Now, this goes up and down. There's a long spectrum. There's white witchcraft, there's black witchcraft, and there's squabbles in between in the middle. But those are the only ones who use Halloween as the actual holiday, one of the main holidays of the year that they celebrate stuff. The winter solstice is another one. December 21st is another day that they hold in high regard. But the Feast of Samhain, or the Feast of Samhain, as it's called in the old Irish cultures from thousands of years ago, uh, they hold to those teachings and stuff like that. And I'm not going to get deep into that because I actually made a video last year about Halloween and the movies and how Halloween originated and what happened and all that kind of stuff. After this, I'll post that video below so you can check it out. So you can learn more stuff about it if you want to. I did it about a year ago, and around this time because it was Halloween. So check that out. But here you go. Halloween fun fact. More of a secular holiday today. It's true. I hate that when people be like, oh, like, for instance, look, I'm Christian, right? I'm Catholic, and I believe seriously in my Catholic faith. But there are some Christian groups out there that be like, you can't celebrate Halloween. It's of the devil, and you're good. People dress up as demons, and I'm like, I don't dress up as a demon. I dress up as Darth Vader or the Mandalorian, or some people dress up as Boba Fett, or they dress up as what you call it, Iron Man, Spider Man, Superman, Little Red Riding Hood, stuff, characters, different characters. So what are you talking about? What are you worshiping Batman or something? No, it's freaking dressing up in costumes. People take things a little too seriously. And there is a custom with the costume thing, but it has become so secularized that it's literally unrecognizable from its ancient customs from thousands of years ago. That it's like it's harmless. It's something you're getting candy, trick or treat. The kids love it, they enjoy it. Hey, we watch It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown on on TV. No harm, no foul. So stop. Anyway, that's my belief about that. So there you go. More of a secular holiday, except for people who practice Wicca, they take it more seriously. It's good to know that, right? Okay. All right, let's keep going. They're worshiping Batman. Yeah, they be worshiping Batman. I'd be like, oh, you girls worship demons. No, we're not worshiping anything. We're just dressing up in costumes. Okay? My God, this guy was dressed up as freaking Peter Pan. People dress up as Peter Pan or dress up as a nurse. You could dress up as as a, I don't know. What do you got? People dress up as Michael Myers, as Jason. As okay, fine. Then they kept pretend. That's it. It's not a big deal. Now, am I denying that the bad stuff doesn't exist? No, 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 no. There are crazy people out there who do crazy crap on Halloween. I'm not downplaying that one bit. Those people you got to watch out for. But they're not. That's not the majority thought here regarding this holiday. It's really not. So people need to just stop. Have a good time, damn it. Trick or treat. I hate this other time. I should have put this in the fun fact. Happy Harvest. Because they don't want to say Happy Halloween because everyone's too religious, The Happy Harvest. I'm like, shut up. It's Halloween. Eat some candy. Leave me alone. All right. Let's talk about the ending. Or, the unexpected deaths. The ending of Halloween Kills. There's a reason why they called this film Halloween Kills. Because Michael Myers killed a lot. The body count was huge. I think if he kept on going, I think you would have had an empty town at some point. It's like, oh, there's nobody left here. Haddonfield, population of 1. Because everybody else is dead. Oh man, it was just bad. It was just bad. But I have to admit, I bugged out. The kills were brutal. You grab somebody and break their neck or bang their heads against the wall a billion times. There was a lot of that, a lot of banging of the head. The stabbing, what he did to the firefighters at the beginning of the movie when he got out of the burning building, he wiped them all out. They picked one up with the thing and the strength, and I was like, well, yeah, it's Michael Myers. That's what he does. A lot of people didn't like that. Some people said, oh, they're trying to make him out like Jason. I'm like, no, he's not like Jason. He's doing what Michael Myers does. It's just that he's doing with a hell of a lot more people. That's all. It's not what he was doing. It's how many people he was doing it to that made it felt like it was Jason. Because when Jason goes on a killing spree, he goes on a killing spree. He kills a lot of people in one movie. You never really got that with Michael Myers. In many of these movies, many of the Halloween films, yeah, he kills, but there's kind of a small handful. Just there's a concentration of just a handful of people that he goes after. Here, all bets were off. He was like going after. He was killing everybody. He was going to people's houses. He was impaling them on the coffee thing on the table. He was, the gay couple. God bless them. Yeah, they were a mess. Everybody was getting it bad. But at the end of Halloween Kills, that was hard. That was hard. Okay, because it hurt me to see Laurie's daughter die. First of all, I wish she did. Why was she thinking about going into the Myers house, going up to the same room where he killed her sister? She didn't know he got back up. It was Karen. Her name was Karen. For them to kill off Karen, will we see the granddaughter Allison fight alongside Laurie in the last film? Possibly, possibly. That's what I'm kind of gunning for. Um, it's when and this was in this movie when Karen was looking out the window and we already knew what happened. She didn't know what happened with the crowd. She didn't know that all these people just got slaughtered, that Michael got back up and thought. And when she was looking out there like that, a few seconds before Michael Myers' head pops up, I knew he was going to do that. I knew he was going to show up right there. And I knew she was done. Oh, God. I was like, wait a minute. He's going to, oh, snap. And there he was. And that's it. It was over. He killed her. Damn. That pissed me off. And it ended that way. It was kind of like a cliffhangerish kind of ending, you know? It jumped right into the ding, 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 with the roll of the credits. I was like, oh, what? Like, oh, no. I saw people get up, like, sucking their teeth. I don't know whether that was because in the theater. I don't know if it was because they thought it sucked or because they wanted it to keep going. Because for me, I wanted it to keep going. I was like, oh, freaking hey, man. Michael Myers, nuts. Loves it, joy the nuts. Oh, poor Karen. You know what? How that's gonna affect Laurie when she finds out. How that's gonna affect her daughter, the girl's Karen's daughter, when she finds out. She lost her father and her mother. She became an orphan in one night. That's messed up. That's really foul, right? I was like, wow, you just made an orphan out of that kid. And all she has now is Laurie and the cop, the that was like recovering right beside her, that they brought right next door. That he was the cop as the young cop in the beginning. I forgot his name in the beginning of the movie when we saw the '78 flashback. He's there talking to her. Apparently, they had a relationship. They had a bond throughout the years, and you know, I think we're gonna see him also in Halloween Ends. Let's talk about Halloween Ends. How I found out that this movie is gonna. I don't know how many of you know this. That Halloween Ends is going to take place about 4 years, something like that, after the events. Allison will be the one to kill off Michael instead of Laurie. Allison, that's the name of the girl. Okay, granddaughter Allison. Got it, Allison. Thank you, Tribal. Hold on. This drives me nuts. Sorry. It freezes up because I keep getting a FaceTime notification from upstairs and it overrides the stream here. So pardon me. Didn't know that was going to happen. What's going to happen in Halloween Ends? My thought it's going to be if everybody else truly did die, something tells me Tommy survived the onslaught. I like to see him come back. It will be Allison, Laurie, Lindsay. Lindsay's still alive, okay, and the police officer. Because he has a score to settle with Michael as well. He killed his partner back in '78. Those four are going to be the main ones to end Michael Myers. Now, the way I predict maybe it's going to end is that Laurie is going to sacrifice her life to kill Michael. They'll die together. Think about it this way. Remember that scene in Game of Thrones in the last season when this guy fought his brother while the dragon was like destroying everything? Hey, Jimmy, how are you? Wait, Bronx Lenny. I always forget who that is. Is this Jose or is this Jimmy? Is it Jose Rosado or Jimmy? Let me know now, because I always confuse it. I think it's Jimmy. Yeah, it's Jimmy. Yeah, thank you, Jimmy. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, Jimmy, because we're talking Halloween Ends, and I know you saw it. and stuff like that. So we've been talking about it for quite a while. We're already talking about the end, what happened at the end, how Karen got killed, and what's going to happen in Halloween Ends when in the way I'm foreseeing it is that Laurie and Michael are gonna die together. They're just gonna um something's gonna happen. I don't know whether they're gonna fall into a pit or shoot each other, stab each other. I don't know what. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Jimmy liked it. He said he loved it. Because it's a good movie. I have to admit it's up there for me with the first two. That's how good it was. That's why I want to go to the theater and see it again. I don't want to watch it on freaking Peacock. I want to see it in the theater again. I have an A-list membership, so I can go see it for free. It's not gonna hurt. So that's my intent to go see it again. I would like to see, and this is just a little personal wish to like make it more complete. Bear with me, okay? I hope they're doing this because if they do this, I'll be like, you guys are David Gordon Green and all you other guys. Yes, I would love to see them bring in Daniel Harris to play a prominent role in Halloween Ends. I think she deserves it. She deserves it. Come on, man. She was that little girl in Halloween 4 and 5, and then she played Annie in the Rob Zombie films. She is a scream queen. She calls her, that's that she's a scream queen. She belongs in this film. She's part of the Halloween lore. And for them to exclude her from that purposely for whatever stupid reason they come up with is ridiculous, in my opinion. I think that she should be in it. I would love to see her be in it. As what character? I don't know. Personally, you know what I would do? I would make her a doctor with a gun, like Dr. Loomis. As a matter of fact, she would be Dr. Loomis's granddaughter. She would herself would be a Loomis. They would call her Dr. Loomis, Dr. Janet Loomis, or whatever the heck. I don't know. Come on, guys. Wouldn't you like to see that? I would lose my mind on that. I would, oh my God, because first of all, Daniel Harris has definitely left a mark in the horror genres. Period. Not only in those films, she's also a director. Like she makes movies too, horror films. So there's something going on there, right? She has what it takes, to be very and she's in my opinion, she's a success. Not a lot of people think her through, but those hardcore Halloween fans do. I'm one of them. All right, I met her a few years ago at a horror convention. She's a sweetheart. So get Daniel. Get Daniel Harris. Everybody write a petition. Get Daniel Harris to be in Halloween Ends. Now, will that happen? Knowing how crap it is, probably not. Which sucks. I don't like that. Will it make me not want to see Halloween Ends? Of course, I'm still gonna go see it. I want to see how this thing finally ends out. I just don't feel like she gets enough credit where credit is due. That's all I'm saying. She deserves more. I would love to see her in the film. And personally, for her to be a direct descendant of Dr. Loomis himself would be like the icing on the cake. That would really make it awesome. She could die in the movie for all I care. Like they could kill her off or whatever. Whatever. Okay, so I'm getting an exchange here from these guys. Triborough is saying, where do you rank Halloween Kills in the franchise? Jimmy says number 3 in the Halloween franchise. I agree with Jimmy. For me, the first one is Halloween 2. Because for those of you who know me well, I love Halloween 2 from 1981. And then the original Halloween from 1978. Now this, Halloween Kills, followed by number 4. I guess would be 2018 because 2018 is great. I like it. You know what I'm saying? It was great. But it was a warm up to the thick of the chaos that we see in this film. In this film, things are already going, it's going crazy all over the place. People are running, rioting, and people getting stabbed, getting beat, and they're shooting themselves in the head by accident. All that crap. Poor lady, man. Her sense of direction on a shotgun just didn't work out. And when do you think we're gonna get a teaser for Halloween Ends? Not for a while. Not for a while. Not for a long time. I don't even know when they're gonna make it. I think they're gonna start shooting in January, from what I read up on. So I'm presuming, if not next year, definitely the year after, and hopefully we'll be more out of this pandemic to the point that life will truly be back to normal again. We don't have to think about shots and vaccines and masks. The only kind of mask I want to talk about are these kind of masks. Damn it. Michael Myers mask and pumpkin mask and silver shamrock masks. All that kind of fun stuff. So that's kind of what I would love to see happen for Halloween Ends. Now, it takes place 4 years. They say it's going to take place 4 years after the events of this film, which brings it up to speed because remember, both the 2018 Halloween and Halloween Kills is in 2018. So 19, 20, 21, 22. 4, 5 years, 23 maybe, depending. So they're bringing it up to speed to modern times, to our time. Not that 4 years ago was ancient history, but I'm just, you know what I mean. So let's talk about that for a minute. Where does Michael go in 4 years? He kills Karen. That's the last thing we see him do. So does he hide? Does he go into seclusion somewhere for 4 years? Nobody could find him. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. That's kind of the only thing that truly makes sense to me. Like, what else would he be doing? Right? He's not going to be checking real estate trends. He's not going to be walking a dog. He's not, he's obviously going to be living in a cave somewhere that nobody knows about because there's no way nobody's going to be able to like freaking find him. If that's the case, they're not going to capture him again and put him away again because that that makes no sense. That will make no sense. I hope they don't go that route. No, the only thing that makes sense is that he escapes and hides off somewhere. And nobody hears from him again until 4 years later, 5 years later, whatever. What I'd like to see for Halloween Ends, to be honest with you, would be a more of an explanation as to what happened to him, his origin. Why did Michael snap in 1963 and do what he did? Because apparently, based on what I've always known about, what we've always known about on Halloween, until that night, he was kind of like a normal kid in all other respects. Like, I understand what Rob Zombie was trying to do with his rendition of him. Came from a broken home, family's messed up, mom's a stripper, sisters treat him like garbage, yada yada. Okay, I get it. Snapped. Fine. It was like killing little animals because that's what they say. That's how it starts with the killer killing little animals, and then it graduates to people. Okay. That kind of crap. I get that. But let me see. Like, I don't know. Now what? Now what's gonna happen? Well, I guess we're gonna find out. Hold up. I just want to make sure. Okay. Get my information straight. You guys are great. Thank you. Thank you. Let's do a third what you call it? A third fun fact. Halloween. Okay, ready? Here we go. Let's see here. There we go. Halloween fun facts. Many customs of Halloween are influenced by the Celtic festival of Samhain, Old Irish term for summer's end. If you remember, if you saw Halloween 2 from 1981, they go into a school and you see written in blood on the blackboard, Samhain. And they're like, one of the cops said, "Oh, that's gibberish and it doesn't mean anything." But Dr. Loomis knew what it meant. And no, it's a Celtic word, Samhain. It means um the end of summer, uh the Lord of the Dead. Okay, from the old Irish, back in the old Irish lands thousands of years ago, this is how they used to do it. They used to believe during that time period that the veil between the living and the dead would be at its thinnest, and the dead would kind of like come and visit loved ones who have passed away, things of that nature. So they would have customs. Um, it was also the time for harvest because things were dying, getting ready for winter, and that's why. So the idea of Samhain was derived from that. But like I said earlier, the actual word Halloween actually was derived from a Catholic feast. It didn't derive from this feast. So a lot of people kind of mix it up, but that's all right. So there's another Halloween fun fact for those of you who knows. If you didn't know, now you know. Uh, do you guys have any questions? We're kind of like wrapping up here soon. Oh, I like what Tribro's saying. It's like him and you and Jimmy are like. I feel like you guys are the only ones here. There might be more of you, and I can't tell. If you're here, wave. Would you like to see a flashback scene regarding Michael joining the cult and what kind of powers he was given? No, because then it really goes to an area of it's a little over the top. That's what happened with Halloween 6, The Revenge of Michael Myers. I hated that. I hated that movie for that reason. Because the cult of Thorn, and you had all these people and they had him worshiping the this and the I was like, oh, stop it. No, 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 no. That's not how this works. It shouldn't work. So no, Tribor, I would not like to see that. Michael joining a cult and what powers he. I don't think that's how it works. Robert is here and Bronx Car Lash Girl B. Thank you. I don't know who you are, but thank you for coming by and saying hi. Welcome to Horror and Coffee, where we talk about horror movies. I hope you saw Halloween Kills. We just did a whole thing about that. Yeah. So no, I don't think there's gonna be a cult involvement with Michael Myers for the next film where there's a flashback for it. What I do believe, though, is that if I were the one making Halloween Ends, I would kind of probably weave in there what happened thousands of years ago in the Celtic lands in Samhain when this young man named Enda, who was in love with this woman, but she didn't love him back because he was kind of deformed. He had like a deformality, but he had his head on right, and he killed her and her husband at a wedding. They got married during Samhain, during the Feast of Samhain. This is the book. This is the novelization of Halloween. Okay, this happens in the prologue of the book. They kill him in response and throw him in the fire and curse his soul to wander the earth until it finds a suitable host, I guess, to inhabit. What's crazy about that is that then you start seeing the scene from the original Halloween from 1978 when Michael Myers was a boy, watching Judith, his sister, messing around with her boyfriend in the house. And you see the book describes how he's been having strange visions and dreams lately. Like he was a normal kid up until that point, but he started having visions and dreams of bonfires, of a woman and a man dancing and all of this stuff. And it was like, oh, so that's the spirit of Enda possessing him, taking control of him to become this crazed killer, right? To carry on this curse. It's a curse. It is a curse. They even suggested that it was familial, that there's a bloodline of relation with Michael Myers' family going way back to that time. Okay, that I can roll with. But the coat of thorn thing that happened in Halloween 6 fell flat on its face as far as I'm concerned. I did not like how they delivered that. I don't like how they executed that film at all. Robert Makes the Cult says, I liked it. Crazy kills. I'm telling you, when Michael Myers had the poor guy on the table and his wife is bleeding out there watching him just simply taking all these knives and impaling him into it, impaling it. I was like, wow, he's like shish bobbing this guy. Like he's like sticking all these knives in him. You know, I don't know why he did that. It was just so sick. I mean, you can go comedic and be like, let's see if this is sharp enough. Bah! Not too much. Let me try this one. Boom. And then he left with a knife. He was like, oh, this is a good one right here. I don't know. It's just crazy. And I keep going back to that kill because to me, that was one of the most brutal ones. Some of the kills you didn't see happen. They already happened behind the scenes. But when you saw what he did to the firefighters, when you see what he does to Karen, what you see what he does to Allison's boyfriend, Cameron, and then when he gets up after the mob beats him down, he gets up and what he does to all those people, I'm like, is there anyone that can stop this guy? Imagine Jason to the rescue. Da-da-da. People have been asking for that for years. Jason versus Michael. I don't think it's ever going to happen personally, and I don't think it should. Because that really downplays everything. I'm like, nah, keep it the way it is. It's fine. Jason has his universe. Michael has his universe. Keep the universes divided. That's what I want. So yeah, that's the way I'm kind of like taking that in. If any of you out there has any questions, actually, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to see if I could do this. So, ready? I've never done this before. This is gonna be the first time I'm trying it. Here we go. Let's see if it works. I hope it works. It's a link. If you want to come on the show, have a talk with me about the movie, if there's anything you want to share in particular about the movie, about Halloween Kills, link is right there. Just connect there, and then I will let you in so we can talk. Robert Makes the Cut says, Jamie Lee to the rescue for Halloween Ends. Well, because Jamie Lee, again, Laurie Strode really took a back seat in Halloween Kills. Like, she really let the other characters shine. And I thought that was a good angle to approach with that movie. Let's Laurie Strode, yeah, we already get it. We got her angle in this whole thing. Let her be at the side and watch everything happen. But she'll be back up in the forefront of this. And Halloween Ends. It has to. It has to. The movie takes place 4 years, so her wounds would have more than healed by at that point. So that helps. That means she's stronger, she's better, all of that stuff. So let's see. Let's well, since I'm not I'm still waiting for somebody to give me to come in. I'll wait. It could be anybody, I'm going to share the fourth and final Halloween fun fact. Might as well, since we are kind of getting to the end of it. All right, here we go. Let me see if I could do that right now. Ready? There we are. Halloween fun fact, and this is our fourth and final Halloween fun fact. Costumes began in the 16th century under the form of guising as people went from house to house singing songs in exchange for food. A lot of hungry, crazy people out there, let me tell you. Back in the 16th century, they would dress up in costumes um, on on those nights so that the spirits wouldn't recognize them. Like, I know. When you look back on it, you're like, that's hilarious. Come on, stop that. Probably saw them getting dressed in the joint. Um, but they will go from house to house singing songs, and this is part of the whole, celebration of harvest and everything, in exchange for food. And that's where the whole custom of trick or treating had its origins. And of course, it eventually evolved and became secularized in the West, notably here in the United States, as trick or treat. Trick or treat, give me something good to eat, all that crap. So, yeah, what's your favorite Halloween candy? You know what mine is, right? Candy corn. Or any kind of candy that's made of that kind of substance. They have different, like, little pumpkins, the little pumpkins. You've seen those at the stores, right? At CVS and what are little pumpkins that are kind of like the candy corn is made of the same material. Oh, I love those. Oh my God, forget it, kills me. Sweet tooth, damn sweet tooth of mine. All right, let me go back to the regular. There, yeah. So there's that, and I don't know what else to say. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an amazing time. I hope you all liked it. Uh I wished I had more to I wish I had somebody to come on to talk for a little bit. I don't know where everybody is right now. I was hoping to see Alex or Nate here, but I guess they're busy. I guess they're doing their own thing right now. I don't know what to say about that. That's okay, you know. Um, like I said a few weeks ago, I'm trying to make this channel a little bit different. Some changes. This is one of the changes. More live streams, more you know, interaction with people about stuff. Now, here's what I'm going to be doing for the next few weeks. I intend on doing another horror files soon with Alex. I won't tell you what the subject is yet. I'm also I got home. Oh, hello. Hi,
Hey,
Robert.
hey, Ralph.
Oh my God, long time no see.
Yeah, I'm trying to get on via my computer, but I don't know. It has some complications. I'm on my phone, so
That's all right. Your phone looks great. What kind of phone is it?
the iPhone 12 Pro Max.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Oh, yeah, cool.
That's what I got. Yeah, those
Oh,
phones
awesome,
are good
awesome.
because you look at you. You don't, it looks great on you there. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, man.
So tell me what you thought about Halloween Kills. Triborough, I'm not going anywhere yet because Robert just showed up and I want to talk to him.
Well,
What do you think?
I liked it. I like it. It kind of went to uh, kind of going back to the 1978.
A lot of flashbacks to that, right?
A lot of flashbacks. Dr. Loomis, I like that.
Oh my God, yeah, they did that Moff Tarkin on him,
Yeah.
right? From like what they did with
Is
Rogue
that
One.
an actor or is that CGI?
No, they used an actual guy, but they did a CGI kind of face thing. Like it's similar to what happened with Luke Skywalker at the end
Right.
of The Mandalorian
Oh,
and
okay. I
with
wasn't
Grand
sure. I
Moff
go,
Tarkin
that looks
in
pretty
Rogue
good.
One. Yeah, it's getting better. They're getting better at it in time. You know what else I noticed? That the film was kind of grainy, typical of a 1978 horror film.
Yeah, it kind of it's like a throwback when Carpenter did it. A lot of
Exactly.
homage the way he, filmed it and the way it looked and all that. Even the like this like the 2018 when the credits, the
Yes.
font and all that, and same thing with this one.
Yes.
The only gripe I had was, I'm sure they're saving the best for last. Jamie Lee was kind of like in the hospital.
Well, I mentioned that earlier. I kind of appreciated that, to be honest with you, in my opinion, because it gave she kind of stayed in the backdrop. She got wounded. She was stabbed.
Yeah,
So they
stomach. Yeah,
operated on her and stuff like that. And it would have been unrealistic, honestly, for her to go out there kicking ass again that
yeah,
same night, because people would be like, "What the hell is that?" Right? So people would have probably said that. Now, on the same and at the same time, what I liked about that was that it gave the other characters in the movie some time for them to shine a little bit more, because wherever Laurie Strode goes, all eyes are on her in all the movies, right?
right.
But in this movie, that wasn't the case. You know, it was all on Karen. It was all on Allison. It was all on Cameron. It was all on Tommy and everybody. Everybody, we're gonna go, Michael. Evil dies tonight. You know, all that. So it really focused on that, and I liked that Lori was kind of like in the backdrop now, just sitting it out,
Yeah.
kind of like recovering from her wounds, because then if Halloween Ends starts 4 years or 5 years after the events of Halloween Kills and
Oh,
2018
so it
Halloween.
catches up to 2018 again, huh? Oh no, 20. I mean, no,
It catches up to
2022.
our time. Yeah.
Our
That's
time.
what
Yeah.
they're saying, that there's a time jump that happens. My question is, I don't know where the hell Michael is during that whole time. Is he working at McDonald's? What's he doing to keep himself busy? I don't know.
Like Party City or something.
Party
Then,
City.
then I guess what was I gonna say? Yeah, that was the only thing I would. Yeah, but yeah, she was wounded at the end of 2018's Halloween. So I guess they had to, kind of had to, she had to heal up and all that.
Yeah,
That's the
she
only
does.
thing I get it, but I kind of want to see her in action a little bit. But
We all do. Absolutely. I'm not even saying that. You know, like it would have been great, but considering what she just went through, you know,
yeah,
it would have been hard. Like and people would have found that. You know how people laughed at her in Halloween 2 with her messed up leg, and all of a sudden Michael shows up, stabs the nurse, and starts going after her in Halloween 2, and she starts running down the. I'm like, dude, you got a cast in your leg.
yeah.
You know, and people were like, and started laughing because they thought it was unrealistic and ridiculous. Maybe they were trying to avoid that same kind of effect. Who knows? I don't
God
know.
damn, and
I'm just,
Michael was brutal in this one.
Mike. I've
Worse
never
than
seen him.
3 years ago.
Yeah, like I swear, like I'm sure Rob Zombie saw this already, and Rob Zombie's like, "Dang, I should have done that. I didn't even think of that." You know, it was like
Yeah.
that brutal, right?
Right.
The things he did. Like I keep thinking about when he had the guy on the kitchen counter and just impaling
Oh yeah,
him
you're talking about
with all those
and
knives.
remember what happened to the wife? He
With the
jabbed
light.
her with the fluorescent bulb.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But what else? What I'm trying to remember other brutal kills. I know the firefighters and the gay couple, but is there something else I'm missing? I feel like I'm missing something.
What's her name's boyfriend? You said?
Oh, when he broke his neck.
Yeah.
Like, first of all, he messed him up good. So he's like that, and he's still trying. He couldn't talk.
He couldn't talk.
Stuck in between the thing, and then as he's walking down the stairs, he's like, "Oh, excuse me." You know, I was like, "Oh my god, that was horrible."
And how about the bodies he left on the little merry-go-round and the homage to the Halloween 3 masks?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, poor. Yeah.
Well,
I love that.
I got this about a year ago.
What did you get a year ago? What? Oh, I have that.
Oh, you have that?
I have it. I have. It's not in the box. I have it in
the
a glass case on display. But I have that.
I figured you were Halloween 2 there.
Oh, I love Halloween 2.
Yeah, so do I. I like that too.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't exist in this timeline. But
no, it doesn't.
When I found that out initially, I didn't like it. I was like, "Oh, they freaking!" You know,
did you get the 4Ks?
You know, I want to get it, but I'm kind of like, and there's only one reason why. There's no digital copy. Have you noticed? It's Blu-ray 4K. That's it.
Yeah, no digital copy.
I'm like, no. Why am I going to buy that? And then next year, guess what they're going to come out with? That's more money like that. I'm waiting. I'll wait. Thank you.
You wait.
Because I have those movies on. I have those movies on Blu-ray, and Blu-ray's not that bad. You know, it's not horrible. So I'm like, you know what? I can wait another year because I want to get the full package. I don't want to buy that just to say I bought it, and then I have to run and buy the one that has the digital copy. Finally, I can wait.
Yeah, I have the older set that has excuse me, all the franchise movies with the Rob Zombie, Halloween 1 and 2.
Triborough is saying, nice figure,
Oh,
Robert.
thanks, Trevor.
I think he's hitting on you.
Oh,
you mean the Halloween, the little miniature? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Triborough. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Excuse me. I'm messing around. That was great. Yeah, what were you saying there? I'm sorry, I got thrown off by that.
that means I got thrown off too.
I was the one doing the throwing off.
So I guess we're and Halloween ends. Well, what do you think? They're going to kill off Jamie Lee too with Michael? Maybe.
I really think it's gonna end when it says, like, for instance, Halloween Kills was truly Halloween Kills. There was a lot of kills. Halloween Ends is gonna be truly an ends. Like, I really believe that that Laurie is gonna die with Michael. They're both gonna die together. Remember in Game of Thrones that the guy and his brother, hello brother, and they fought at the end.
Oh, I never watched that.
Oh God. Sorry. Never mind. But like one of those dramatic scenes when two enemies die together in combat.
Oh yeah.
Think like that. Thinking within that thought. That's what I see is going to happen. Now, I mentioned this earlier. I would love to see Daniel Harris in this film, in Halloween Ends, playing some role.
Yeah, that's right, huh?
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. Because I think she deserves it.
I met her 2 years ago at a convention in Pasadena, California called Monster Palooza.
I met her too.
Yeah, and I have a selfie with her too.
Yeah, I met her too. Hold on. See?
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, she has something similar too. Yeah, and you know what? Who else was there? Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubens.
I met her in the Monster Mania convention in Jersey.
Oh, okay.
A couple years ago.
Bruce Campbell was there too.
Bruce Campbell was there?
Yeah, he didn't. But you can. Yeah, you only. He didn't allow selfies with them. Only autographs only.
There's actually a horror convention happening this weekend in Brooklyn.
Oh, cool! You gonna go?
You heard, Triborough? Brooklyn, downtown Brooklyn, like near the promenade, right under the Brooklyn Bridge. There's a horror convention happening, Brooklyn Horror Con, it's called.
Oh, okay.
Am I gonna go? I intend on going Saturday. I'm gonna see if I can catch some of them.
Yeah, get some pics. I like to see them.
Yeah, there's people from the Evil Dead show and Terrifier characters from there.
Oh, okay.
Actors from there that are going to be there. So
that's good. Things are starting to open up a little bit, and
yes, I would love to. I love that things are starting to open up a little bit more. We had New York Comic-Con here a couple weeks ago. I didn't go because, to be honest with you, I think it's over the top, too over the top. Don't get me wrong, I like it. It's not like I don't.
Oh, it wasn't virtual. It was they had it.
They really literally had it in the Jacob Javits.
Oh man, there must have been thousands of people there. Huh?
Well, I think that was part of probably the restrictions that they didn't have as many people, maybe just to keep the numbers down. They still look crowded to me from videos that I've seen, but I don't know. Triborough says I still haven't seen Terrifier 2. I just saw Terrifier a few weeks ago for the first time. I never saw it up until then. And that movie was crazy.
I never
saw it.
I've heard of it.
You got to see it. Robert, you got to see it. All right. So on that note, Robert, thank you for stopping by.
Oh, no. Thank you for having me. It was cool.
Fun. My God. You're my first guest.
Oh, God. I feel honored.
You are. Because I'm trying to do this. You know what I'm saying?
I was trying to get in for the hardest time. It says I need another browser. And, I go, oh man, you're about to cut off, and I go, shut the thing down. I go, oh shoot, let me try my phone. Screw it, and my phone worked, I don't know. I have to cut and paste and all that. I have an iMac and it's acting. It does some weird stuff sometimes. So.
Maybe the software has to be updated or something. You know how
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is.
You have to download
Crazy,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
All
But
right,
anyways,
dude.
it was good seeing you, man.
Likewise, so great seeing you
Hey,
too,
DM me. I'll DM you on IG. I got something for you.
dude. Send me your address again
Yeah, I got something for you.
because
You know,
it's right here.
oh,
I don't know
okay.
why they sent it to me. I was like, this is stupid. I put your address in the freaking thing, and
That's weird.
it's been sitting there as a reminder to me. You gotta go to
They
the
send
post
it
office.
back?
No, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep that one, and when I do it again, I'm gonna like really double check to make sure the address is right. That's all.
Okay. I'll
That's all
send
I'll
it to you
do.
again. Yeah, likewise.
But I can never have enough of these cups. I love these cups. I'm gonna have them all over the place. So
Yeah, I got something for you too. I think you'll like it.
I appreciate that, sir. All right, awesome. So we'll be in touch about that. All right.
Okay. All right, Ralph. Take care, man.
All right, take care. I don't know how to hang up on you. Oh, there you go. All right, later.
I'll see you later.
I don't know. Oh man, that was Robert from Robert Makes the Cut, people. All right, awesome dude. Great fan of Horror and Coffee and Levels of Geeks with Alex and Nate and all these people. I hope that you've all had a good time, as I know I did. And we're gonna end the stream now. I appreciate those of you who are here. For those of you who watched this as a replay, thank you for watching in advance. If you like what you see here, please consider subscribing. Tap on the bell for future notifications, for future horror and coffee content. And just make sure that you hit the like also, because I like likes. Likes are likable, and they are very good. Halloween Kills. Arguably one of the best horror movies of 2021. It's up there right now next to, in my opinion, Malignant, which I saw and enjoyed very much. Reviewed that one as well. And I hope you guys have a good time, sleep well, have a good night. And until next time, this is Ralph Perez from Horror and Coffee. Take care. God bless you guys. Later.